Abominable. Yes, I just put together some of the reaction of Nigerian prominent men, about this certificate forgery by our President Ahmed Tinubu. So I just put some reactions of some wise Nigerian men. You understand? And it will help you to understand the extent of damage this might have on our country, Nigeria. Do you understand? It will help you to understand the situation of things as they are, and it's about 3 or 4 different clips, you understand, a video of them explaining the situation of things and what it meant to us as a country and individually also. So I would like you to listen to it carefully. Just listen to it carefully. Remove tribalism, remove nepotism, remove what you stand to benefit, do you understand, or anything you're benefiting. Just listen to it as a neutral Nigerian person. Do you understand? Just listen to it. So I think it's time we start putting Nigeria first before our personal interest or desires. Do you understand? Just listen to it and let me know your thoughts about it. Do you understand? After this, you watch it.
I must have to say that it's a very sad day for Nigeria, and a sad thing that the person that is sitting as their president is a certificate forger that has made a university abroad to refer to forging as a Nigerian thing. It's a shame. It is not a Nigerian thing. It is a thing of the leader, because criminal responsibility is personal. He said he is fighting for justice. That's Atiku Abubakar. And he said the certificate that Bola Ahmed Tinubu or Bola Adekunle Tinubu submitted to INEC is forged. In that, I agree with him 100%. Because what is forgery? Forgery is the act of falsely making, imitating, or altering a document or signature with an intent to defraud. Was the document certificate he presented to INEC falsely made? Yes, they have admitted that it was made by a third party, a vendor. Was it an imitation of the original? Yes, because they want to imitate the certificate made by the Chicago State University. Does it have alterations in it? Many. The signatories are altered, the signature is altered, the logo is altered, everything about the certificate is altered. So it is clearly a case of forgery. And you know what? It is terrible that the documents that he used to purportedly gain admission into the university, he claimed he got it from the government college, Lagos, and he graduated 1970. At a time, the school was not even in existence. You know what? That makes it fake. It means that he entered the university assuming, without considering he was even there, with fake, unexistent results manufactured by him. And you cannot put something on nothing and expect it to stand. That has even nullified everything about what he said about Chicago State University. 7/0
Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo,
not 7.
There are 40 million Yoruba people in the entire globe. That's the estimation. There are 222 million thereabout people in Nigeria. There are 93 million registered voters in Nigeria. The verdict that is in Ashad Bola Ahmed, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's hand, is by 8 million people. Shall all of us who are not part of that 8 million now say to ourselves that we are now at the proudest moment of our lives, wherein under deposition, documents are flying about, some saying female, some writing male, some saying he came with the social security number that is tied to a woman. Some, look, let me tell you, Shehu, I know a lot of people who spoke the Bola Tinubu presidency into power. People like my very respected brother Femi Fani-Kayode, who must have their tongue clipped now because they will be greatly embarrassed that is this what we have really become? And you know, Shehu, the painful thing about it is that we want the entire country to pretend as if Atiku is now so guilty because he has the stamina and the gusto to go through all this. Even if nothing happens from the Supreme Court, and if something happens from the Supreme Court, would this not be a line that we should never cross in this country? And I need to put it to you, Shehu, Atiku, this is not the first time Atiku has put himself in harm's way just for all of us. Even if you can't remember any, even though there are a plethora of others and court cases in court. One of them being the fact that a governor cannot just get up in the morning and remove his deputy. A president cannot get up and remove his vice. It's down to Atiku and fighting. The one that all Nigerians must even take a bow for is that, do you know how Nigeria would have become if it was really possible for somebody to stay in power perpetually and somebody had to stand at third time when even generals in this country were mooted? If Atiku has gone to Chicago to go and find the certificate, pray. Why wasn't the certificate produced in the first time? Why is the secondary school, why is it a secondary school that doesn't exist? We have been derobed. People in England are telling me now that nurses are going to have to go and redo their nursing qualification exam. You know why? Because we have now become a nation of cheaters. We have now become a nation of duplicitous people who cannot even, I mean, come on, even the back ends of some other countries. You know what the governments of the countries are doing? They're doing like this. They are whispering behind our back. And Shehu, when we wanted to go on this journey, one day I was on one of those programs, I always try to speak fact. I tried to say to even the president then that is immortality in the villa, because the contraption and everything put together does not suggest that this is the best that Nigeria can put forward. And before you start telling me about any genius economic policies, the reality on ground does not even suggest so. That team that he has put together could have been put together for any other person that will carry the honor, the integrity. So do you know how I feel? I feel diminished. I feel that, are these the children of Bafemi Awolowo? Are these the people that Abraham Adesoya and the likes of them in AD, did they know all this and allow it to slide? Must we now get to a position in the world where we're sending like thousands and thousands of emails to one institution to ask for the same record that could have been produced? Did you read the deposition? Even the school itself must bury his head in shame. The school has a right to say, this is totally the position we have, and be unambiguous about it. They can't write that deposition in a manner that in one breath you get the impression they are saying, oh, he's with us, he went to our school. In another breath they are saying, we can't validate the society certificate. In another breath they are saying, vendors did it. In another breath they can't find the person that signed it. In another breath
Facts don't matter in Nigeria any longer. That's just the truth. It's gotten to the point where alternative facts have taken over the space and truth itself have become completely subjective and transactional. The depositions are clear and they are not ambiguous. The person representing CSU was unequivocal in declaring that the certificate submitted to INEC by the man known as Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not emanate from them. That is a matter that should be conclusively dealt with and forgotten about. Whether the Nigerian courts will find that a sufficient basis to do the needful, that's another argument that we can have at another time. But that we're still arguing about what has been conclusively proven in the deposition speaks a lot to the kind of country that we have become. Now, when you now speak about a missing document, the person went to school, we now begin to dig to the substance of the issue. You now begin to have to answer the question. The documents submitted to CSU itself showing that it was a female that had the qualification to enter the place. Nobody is talking about that. If we are not going to be dealing with the substance and we are just dancing around the issue, we can't even agree on what is not or what should not be argued about, that is already clear in the face of the deposition, that this document to Mark A that was given to INEC by Mr. Tinubu did not emanate from the body that was purportedly issuing the document. The body came out clearly. Now, whether Mr. Tinubu attended the university, whether he attended having the right qualifications, whether he lied about the schools he attended, whether Government College Lagos was found in 1970 or 1974, that's another story entirely. And the deeper you dig into this, the messier it becomes. And I actually think that we have a duty not to allow truth to become transactional and subjective. Facts on the ground are clear. The certificate submitted by Mr. Tinubu is a forgery. That is not my opinion. That is what the registrar of the school has declared on oath. So what our own courts would do with it is what they are prepping for with all these alternative narratives and facts that they are spewing. Oh, so I have a driver's license, but I forgot my driver's license, and I have now forged one so that I might prove that I actually had one issued to me. It's still a forgery.
Called Bola A. Tinubu was admitted in Chicago State University in 1977. Now, with respect to whether or not Chicago State University issued a diploma to such a student in 1977, the registrar said no.
That's what he said?
Yes, that's exactly what he said. Because when Atiku's lawyers drew his attention that, have you ever seen a copy of this certificate that Tinubu presented to INEC in Nigeria as a qualifying certificate to contest election, his answer was, I have only seen this certificate in the course of the proceedings in Nigeria. It is not on our records in Chicago State University. And we cannot certify that we issued this certificate. And that is true. Because if you look at the documents released to Atiku, particularly document 0026, it speaks volumes as to whether or not that said Bola A. Tinubu actually graduated from Chicago State University. And why do I say so? Because the document says the student failed English and is required to go back and sit for English 222. And there is no further record to show that that Bola A. Tinubu went back to sit for that particular course, which was a requirement, a condition precedent for admission into Chicago State University. Mind you, the Bola A. Tinubu, who in one instance is female, in another instance is male, what was presented as the qualifying certificate for admission into Chicago State University was a GCE certificate purportedly obtained from Government College in 1970. And Government College Lagos, which is supposed to be the issuer of that same certificate, was not in existence up until 1974. And if you look at the subjects that are contained on the GCE certificate, it was physics, chemistry, and biology. There was no mathematics, and there was no English. And the requirements for you to graduate from Chicago State University is that you must have a credit in English and in mathematics. So if you look at the deposition documents, particularly document 0017, document 0026, document 0027, document 0028, document 0029, and document 0032. They speak volume about the said Bola A. Tinubu, who was supposed to have been a student of Chicago State University, but who never qualified to be issued a certificate because he never graduated from the university. It is possible for a student to go to a school Because education is a process. Now, you get admitted, you undertake lectures, you write exams, you do for higher education, you do something like maybe a long essay, or a project, or a thesis, or a dissertation. Upon the completion of all of this, if you have passed every subject, then you're issued with a certificate evidencing the fact that you were a graduate of this university.
Do they issue certificates? Or because what I learned is that the certificate is always issued once. And
no, but
whatever
upon
you
graduation,
ask for,
upon graduation,
but
you
when
are
you
issued with a certificate. Now, in 1979, no certificate was issued
at
to
that
any
time.
Bola A. Tinubu.
No certificate.
That's what the registrar says. That's what they said. No certificate was issued. And
But
if you look at the type of
registrar,
certificate...
sorry, please,
Yes.
let me ask this. The registrar admitted that Bola Ahmed Tinubu attended the school.
Attendance is one thing. Graduating from the school and earning a certificate is another different thing altogether. Education through the university or through that is a process. It's not an event. You can be admitted to ABU Zaria today for a 4-year program course. You can do up to the 3rd year. You can do even up to the 4th year. Now, if you have carryovers, you are required to go back and remedy those carryovers. Now, in this case, it was not even carryover per se within the university. There were deficiencies in the entry qualification which were detected by the Chicago State University, which the student Bola A. Tinubu, whoever he was or she was directed to go back. If you look at that deposition document 0026, if you want, I can read exactly what document 0026 said. And I'll put it to say, you have not passed the English qualifying exam, and the credits that you have previously earned in composition will not be recorded on your transcript until you have passed the examination. You should enroll in English 222. A passing score on English qualifying examination has been required prior to admission into any major or professional program for students admitted into the university as of September 1975. That particular precondition, precedent, was not fulfilled by that candidate. So no certificate was issued. And that's exactly what the registrar said. So any correlation, any interpretation that is different from what is on the records of the proceedings in the Chicago court is not what is available on record that to be used as evidence in court. So that's the correct interpretation. That certificate wasn't issued. And if you look at, there are several other errors on the certificate, which I need not point out. These things have been in the public domain. But this particular one, it's important that this point is made. Because it is not even the attendance of the university that article is before the presidential election petition, or was before the presidential election petition tribunal, or is appealing to the Supreme Court. Atiku is appealing to the Supreme Court on the basis of the provisions of Section 137, subsection 1J, and Section 134, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act. The earlier reference refers to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which says that no candidate shall be qualified to contest for election as a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria if such a candidate has presented a forged certificate to the Independent National Electoral Commission. So it is not a question of attendance. Granted, Bola A. Tinubu attended Chicago State University. The question is the certificate that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria today, as it is, presented to INEC to contest for the 2023 general election, was it a valid certificate issued by the Chicago State University? The registrar has said no. We are not aware.
So where are the information that we are getting that the registrar gave it a pass that what Bola Ahmed Tinubu submitted to INEC is actually coming from their school?
Ijoma, the depositions in court in Chicago are available everywhere. These documents have been certified. They have been published. And so any other interpretation that is skewed to make a misrepresentation to the public, it's simply because the public itself is not paying attention and reading exactly what the documents are. I refer you to This Day This Morning. This Day This Morning's headline was bold. that Chicago State University Registrar denies knowledge of the certificate Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, presented to INEC. So there is no confusion at all. In law, we say res ipsa loquitur. The facts are on the face of the document, and the facts speaks for themselves.
Okay, let's go back to that section 137 that
Yes.
you said. They are qualifications for you to run as a president.
Yes.
And if you go to section subsection 1A, it says subject to the provisions of 28 of this constitution, he has voluntarily acquired the citizen of a country, which is one of the qualifications.
Yes.
And except in such cases as may be prescribed by the National Assembly, he has made a declaration of allegiance to such other countries. That's a different matter.
These are different issues.
This has to do with the issue of the certificate now.
The issue of the certificate,
If-
read section 137, subsection 1J. It's there.
Hold on.
You have a copy of the Constitution.
Yes,
Read it.
that's where. Why I'm going to that is simple. If what section 1J has said, presented a forged certificate to the Independent National Electoral Commission.
Exactly.
That is one reason that he may be disqualified.
Yes.
And that's what some persons are
That is
calling
a
for his
strict
disqualification.
liability offense.
Okay, but that was not part of what you asked for at the tribunal. With the Supreme
That's
Court,
a fallacy.
With the Supreme Court now go ahead and say, okay, let us add it to.
Yeah, now you have watched it. What do you have to say? And remember, it's only person that have not the interest of Nigeria at heart will not share this video. Share this video, share this video, so that others will see it, and learn. You understand? So that we start putting this our country, Nigeria, first. I love my country. I love Nigeria. So try and share it, even if you have to share it 10 times. Share this video so that many people will be aware of what we are talking about.